a lot of volume there. But yeah, if it weren't for the stuff I'm about to tell you, I would want to grab this pretty much instantly over the Series X. But as you may imagine, there's more to it than just the looks. There are different computers inside of each of these. Microsoft is aiming to deliver the same exact identical experience, but at 2 different resolutions. And that's why there's different computers required to achieve each. So Xbox Series X will deliver 120 frames per second at 4K, while the white Xbox Series S will achieve 120 frames per second at 1440p. And that is what they're hoping to accomplish. That's the difference here. So the rest of the experience will all be identical. They'll both have the same 8-core CPU. They both have ray tracing. They both do variable refresh rate up to 120 FPS. But
Okay,
graphically, there's less power
welcome back everyone. Did any of you manage to get any work started? I want to give you all time to work till 3, but if anybody wants to go ahead and discuss their ideas, even if it's just very preliminary, an overall idea, okay, I need a volunteer. So we'll just kind of do a couple of discussions and then you can work in class and kind of gather back again at 3 to
Ma'am,
discuss more. Yeah.
I started by writing synonyms, then what uh, like the loudest animal I found about loudest animal, then things that are related to loud, then there is also the uh, loud smell.
Okay.
So
Do you have
yes,
any sketches done yet? Or have you like thought about visuals that go with it?
ma'am, I have a few explorations I have made.
Okay, do you want to share with the class?
Ma'am, screen share in 2 minutes. I just click the picture and screen share it.
Okay. Does anybody else want to discuss? No one, none of you have made any progress?
Ma'am, I've done the brainstorming and I've just started with the explorations.
Okay, do you want to share with the class what you brainstormed about or what your overall ideas are, what
So
direction you're thinking of going in?
my prompt was loud, so I started writing the words related to loud and how differently it means. So different noises, voices, and how also nature of people could be loud. So I'm right now brainstorming on how I could show attention-seeking nature to be loud.
Okay.
So I've started exploring that.
Okay. Anyone else?
Ma'am, can I share my screen now?
Yeah.
And so first they started with the basic explorations like breaking of glass, then closing the ears. Then the other word for loud noise was ear splitting. So in the fourth one, I tried showing that. Then the loudest animal was sperm whale. So I did that.
Can
Then
you move down? Like scroll up?
and then I tried showing the loud fashion, tacky fashion in the 3 pictures. And then, like in cartoon, it is shown that whenever a loud sound comes, then ears will get like hairs will get away from head and everything. So that I tried showing that thing.
Okay. What's the last one?
Ma'am, I couldn't do it well. I thought the inside the well, it's all silence. So like I tried showing the loud sound inside the well if someone is shouting. So the echoing of voice in
Okay.
silent place.
Okay.
So
Um,
this was
so
a
what's
exploration.
happening for your thumbnail?
Sorry, ma'am.
Right. So, for like an initial, so okay, so for initial, starting point, you have a lot of ideas, which is very good. What's happening in a lot of them is right now, you're drawing very literal things, right? And I assume, because kind of starting with a tough topic in terms of like conceptual illustration. Right? It's a skill that is developed over time. Not everybody thinks directly in that way. So getting things out literally is good, but now what we want to do is think of it in a like metaphoric way.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so if you talk about let's say an ear splitting sound, okay, then what is it about that sound, that you want to show, but you don't want to use, let's say, okay, I'm guessing the human that you've drawn during kind
Yes,
of like
ma'am.
covering her ears refers to that. So that's a literal way of drawing it, right?
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
what you think is what you've drawn. So now you want to think of what other thing is it that I can draw. Okay. So so because your classmates have already done this before, so I'm going to kind of pick up on what they've explored and give you guys a few hints so you can, kind of start looking in that thought mode. So let's say one of your classmates had this, really nice thumbnail of a telephone, it being loud. Now, obviously, a telephone in your rings, it is loud, but uh, from that came the idea of, you know, what is it that, is so silent and we kind of like, just let go of it in terms of, like you kind of just take it for granted, that sound. But then if you put that same object in, let's say, a very quiet place, okay, it would be the loudest sound that's heard there, right? So you
Yes,
see
ma'am.
where I'm leading with that. So now you already have like, a whole list of objects and ideas that you created, like a library for that. So now you want to kind of think of things in a context like that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to, so I kind of, in the other group on WhatsApp, I did put in a few links of illustrators who work conceptually. So it would be a good idea for you guys to like refer, kind of, look at their work. Okay? So I'm going to actually share them on group A, right? Illustrations group A. Okay. So I just put them there right now. And you guys can also take a look at that. So that'll give you more of an idea of how conceptual actually works. Okay. So a lot of times what happens is, and also because of a lot of digital illustration influx, it becomes very vector when it's stylized. You do not have to work it. Okay, like I showed you the geisha piece, right? So that's watercolor, and that's not vector. That's like more rendered. You can actually kind of representational as well. So when you talk about conceptual, a lot of what you'll see will be very stark graphic design, in terms of aesthetic, but you do not have to do that. Okay? Once you have your drawing down and your idea down, okay, how you kind of execute it in terms of rendering uh, is a thought after that in most cases. So in most cases, any kind of so even if you use watercolor for it, it will work. Okay? It's just how you treat it at that point. Okay, who else wants to share?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I had one question. So can we have like something which is laughing out loud or or like chewing loud or loud neighborhood as a thing. My topic is loud.
So see that again is what I wanted to stay clear of. Okay? So okay, how about I put it this way? So whatever your topic is, okay, think of trying to show that idea without actually drawing things associated with it. Okay, literally.
Yes.
So let's say with loud, okay, anything that comes out of your mouth can be loud, right? It can be laugh, it can be shouting, whatever. So literally drawing a mouth, okay, or just a mouth or just a face or a human doing that uh, is a way of expressing that literally. You want to move away from that. Okay? So try and think of substitutes for
Okay, ma'am.
that. Substitutes that make sense.
Yes.
So
Ma'am,
even let's say with the yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, you will continue. I'll speak later, like when you're done.
Okay. So even with like, let's say the prompt quiet, okay, the first thing that everybody would probably, think most people is like, oh, finger to the lips, or their lips that are closed or mouth that is closed, or a very like tranquil, quiet place like a beach, mountainside, whatever. Okay. Ocean. Okay. So my point is I'm not against using that, but kind of use it in a way that it does not directly show. Okay. You can also use the opposites to show. So when I talk about, a quiet thing being in a quiet place, okay, makes it the loudest thing there. But not quiet, but like, a thing that is like normally kind of like ignored, and it's in a very quiet place, it makes it really loud, right? So think of it in terms of like, if this, then that. Okay, go ahead, who was speaking?
So ma'am, my topic is quiet. So could it be something like there's a desert, there's nothing but just a chair and a table in the whole desert. So like a type of connected quiet to lonely and silence and dark.
Okay. That still is very literal. Okay? So you want to think in terms of again, what is it about that quiet place that makes it quiet, and then kind of associate it with another let's say thing that is quiet, So kind of put it in that unusual context, right? So when we do conceptual, a lot of the ideas that actually come from are from the context that already exists. Okay. Like, just in the way that, when you say a desert is a quiet place, we all know that, So when anybody sees that, they automatically read it as quiet. Okay. So how can you show the term quiet? Okay. And let's say the term desert, the desert, without actually drawing the desert, without actually, just putting like a singular chair and table.
Okay.
So the links I shared in the group, if you look at them, so a lot of times what you can do is one of the ways to tackle this is in terms of drawing is negative space, right? So when I showed you the geisha things, I was drawing the neighborhood. Okay, if I had just drawn that, the architecture, it would just be like a scenery, a narrative illustration that shows the place where she lived. But because I used the negative space to form the lady's shape, the geisha's silhouette, it brought in a second read that, oh, okay, look, so the whole story or that is focused on this one, person. So if you, let's say, you were thinking of drawing a desert, okay, and there are sand dunes, and you wanted to show the idea of loneliness, you can literally draw that, but it would kind of be at that point that you kind of craft your sandals and your desert in a way that it shows, uh, a solitary chair or solitary table or, something that has a negative space or a negative thing. So when somebody looks at it, oh, it's just the desert. But then when you look at it closely, okay, that's when you see that other form. So when you kind of associate that whole place, you're saying quiet for you means kind of also lonely. So if the first read is literally quiet, the second read of lonely also comes in. That's another way of doing it. When you use things that are literal. Another way could also be that, again, just taking the idea of desert. I'm not sure why you put the table and chair there, but that brings me, to me the thought that, oh, what if it's just a writer? Somebody who's writing a book, they probably need peace and quiet. So it could also be that, you kind of draw a scene with a writer, kind of writing, composing at his table, but then the composition is such that the negative space maybe forms an element of the desert, okay, or kind of invokes the sense of the desert and brings that in as a second lead. So the meaning could be then that what you're trying to show is that the writer, okay, when he's writing, he's thinking of a quiet place, or wish he would be in a quiet place, or maybe he's even thinking, trying to write about a quiet. So if you draw this, what you want to avoid doing is, literally showing a desert, okay? Uh, like literally in that context would be, maybe it's a picture in the room he's in, or maybe it's a desert outside the window, or maybe it's like, um, I don't know, like, something like in a photo frame or, basically literally just right there for you to reference. What could work in that context is, if it's like a large hourglass that he's sitting in and that forms the desert and you put the right. So you also playing with scales helps a lot with conception. Anybody else? Akhil, do you have to take attendance? Akhil?
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, do you have to take attendance?
Ma'am didn't tell, but I took a screenshot, so I think that's fine.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? So it's already close to 2:30. So if you guys want another hour to work, um, we can do that and then come back and discuss. Okay? Does that work? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Please do stay connected, okay? Because if you leave the class, you'll actually be leaving the class. So just stay connected. I'll be on mute, but you guys can just chime in when you need input. By the end of break, we should have color schemes too, okay? Like color compositions. So once you kind of go through that, you know exactly what you'll be doing uh, in terms of the final illustration with the traditional media. So the more you get done today, the more feedback you get tomorrow. Okay, we are only going to do feedback and reviews of your work for a couple of hours tomorrow morning. Okay. So that'll be like a couple of hours for feedback because there are like what 22 of you, and then I'm going to be introducing the next assignment as well. And I need to know what media uh, you're picking. Okay, so tomorrow is going to be demonstration. So with the other batch, I did demonstrate like in a little bit of acrylic, a little bit of watercolor, some color pencil, and dry pastel. Okay? So depending on how much time we have again, and depending on also who's picking what media. See, if nobody's doing coral pencil, it makes sense to not go there for the demo right now, and I can spend more time in demo the other media. As is, it would not be possible to do everything all at once tomorrow, that is. So some of it may continue on to the next day. Um, well, that would be Monday then. Okay, so let's just like plan ahead so you get like the maximum benefit of whatever I can teach you, and you have Sunday to work on it, or even Saturday night to work on this. Okay, so that said, can all of you just start kind of relating what materials you think you'll be using? Okay, everyone has to just name one material. Even if you end up changing it later, at least I have a head count of where to focus on. Come on, speak up, people, volunteers. Even a maybe works, maybe I will do this, maybe I will use, this. Okay, okay, I'm gonna start picking out names. Rhythm, rhythm, okay, Kriti, let's start with you.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please pardon? I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, what I'm saying is, I need to know what material or what media you're going to be doing your final illustration in, so I can demo, whatever most people are picking tomorrow.
Ma'am, I'm thinking of using either charcoal or watercolors.
Okay, do you have colored charcoal though?
No, I just have the black one.
So we need this assignment, like both assignments, to be in color. Okay, we're also trying to learn color here, so I would need you to pick a color medium. So I'm okay with charcoal as long as you pick at least 2 or 3 colors.
Okay, so can we use poster colors?
Yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah, so I just have black charcoal. I'll try to have soft pastels, I guess.
So you can also do mixed media. Okay? Using charcoal is fine by me, but I really want you to learn how to use color as well. So the charcoal can form, because you only have black, it can form a small part of your illustration. Okay, but I don't want it to overwhelm your piece.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Akhil,
Yes, ma'am.
did you hear my question?
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe use watercolors,
Okay. And do you have another option in mind?
poster colors, ma'am.
Okay. And all of you know the difference between watercolors and poster colors, right? This is a question for the class.
Ma'am, we use poster colors for mostly flat application, and we use watercolor where we want something like transparent effect, or we use more water in the watercolors and less water in poster.
Right, exactly. Okay, so those who didn't know, I hope you understand at least this little bit of effect, okay? Poster colors are opaque and are used for flat applications. You can do gradients with them. You can mix water with them, but because of their nature, they're chalky, okay? So it also creates a lot of patches, okay? They're very akin to gouache in that manner. So um, opaque flat application is best for them. Watercolors, yes, use more water, less pigment, so kind of like, do a dance between water and pigment, gives you a more transparent effect that you can build up in layers. Okay, Krina,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, what medium?
Ma'am, I was thinking of, so I'm like not comfortable a lot with watercolors. I was thinking of pencil color watercolors, like pencil based watercolors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lipi,
I was thinking about either soft pastel or acrylic.
okay. Anirudh,
Ma'am, I was thinking about either pencil colors or poster colors.
okay. Mr. Ankit, either Ankit. Okay. Um, other Ankit. Okay, if I, speak your name and you can't, you have problems with your mic, whatever, I need you to drop in a message in chat. Anushka,
Yes, I'm thinking of watercolor and soft.
okay, together. Um, Rudra, Rudra, how do I pronounce your name?
Ma'am, it's Rudra.
Rudra, okay.
Yeah, so ma'am, I'm thinking of watercolor and dry pastels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arushi,
Ma'am, watercolor or poster colors?
okay. Manushi,
I'm thinking of using acrylic colors on canvas.
okay. Kanishka,
Color pencils and soft pastels.
Sia,
Ma'am, color pencils and watercolor.
okay. Mm,
कल बना रही थी ना कुछ रेड वेलवेट केक
Manushi, you're not on mute. Navya?
Ma'am, poster colors.
Okay. Who is left? Who hasn't chimed in yet? See, these are things that I shouldn't have to pick out your names, okay, and kind of ask each and every one of you to respond. We're not in school anymore, okay? So it's not, even a question that, has a right or wrong answer. So please just, speak up. I'm just taking a poll. So watercolor has the most people, like most people have picked watercolor, so let's give that a priority, okay? Second to that is color pencils. I'm not sure whether it's watercolor pencils or normal ones, but I kind of go with both, okay? Um, soft pastels and poster colors are kind of coming in equally, as the third. I do not think I actually have poster colors. I do not use them. So till I can actually locate some or, work with them, I'm gonna give soft pencils a priority over that, okay? Posters and acrylics, if you're planning to apply them flat, I wouldn't need much of a demonstration, okay? So I'm going to actually go with acrylics if we have time. Okay. So those who ever want to pick watercolors to finish their final, please pay attention tomorrow and be present in class while I demo. Okay. Same with watercolor pencils. I'll kind of be doing both of them hand in hand. Okay. And if we have time tomorrow, I may begin soft pencils. I don't think we will, but then that will kind of roll into Monday. Okay. So one of the outcomes is that you become more comfortable with the medium that you choose. So whatever you choose to work with, okay, for this assignment, that is the medium you will be working it for the second assignment as well. Okay. So just be sure that you're choosing what you want to work with. But that said, it doesn't mean that, if you're not comfortable with the medium, that you're like, oh, maybe I'll just do poster colors because it's just flat application. Don't do that. This is your chance to learn something else. So just give it a shot. Okay. If it does not work out, I will give you time to redo it. If you feel that, the medium you've chosen is definitely not something you want to do, but do give it a shot first. Okay, we have like 8 minutes remaining, but it's okay. We don't need to end at like 4 proper. Sakina, do you want to share your screen? No, Sakina, we can't hear you, or at least I can't. Okay. Anyone else?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Kriti here.
Okay, yeah, till Sakina comes back, why don't you go?
Yeah, just a minute. I'll share. Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes.
So, ma'am, my word was secret.
Okay. So, do you want to pick one that you think you would probably, work towards, or one that you like better towards the others, and talk about that?
Um, I think I like this one behind the door. Like
Okay. Can you zoom
I want.
into your clipboard, like your photo?
Is it okay?
Yeah, just zoom into that thumbnail. Okay.
Is it?
Okay. Yeah.
So in this, I want to show an old door, a
Mhm.
really darker one, and with the dried leaves around it, and just like a secret door, like something is behind it and it's never been opened. So just like that, and with the title behind the door.
Okay. So this when you put it there, what's that little thing, that on the door next to the doorknob?
This one,
No, on the door itself, next to the doorknob. Yeah, what is that?
uh, ma'am, just a wooden plank, like um,
Okay. So when you draw this, like think of it, if the word is not there, okay, does it actually read as secret? Does it not just read as old door?
okay.
Right? No, just ask yourself that. What do you think?
Um,
Okay. So what you need to do now, okay, you can work with this. Okay. So what you need to do now is think of uh like, okay, if you think of a narrative, okay, like what's the secret behind the door? Okay, you can actually determine what to show and how to show it from there. Okay, so what if, let's say, becoming a little bit more sinister, but what if, let's say, somebody was uh, murdered behind the door, right? So you could kind of show it in a way that, the way the door is like, let's say, half open or slightly open, the space between the door and the bricks, it forms the shape of a knife. Or maybe it forms the shape of, I don't know, the chainsaw. Okay. So that
yeah,
kind of adds a second read that, oh, maybe this was the site of a murder, that's the murder weapon. You see what I mean?
yeah, getting it.
Okay. So that's one way to do it. So, don't abandon this idea about using a door to hide a secret. Okay. Then the next would be like, okay, do you want to reveal the secret or not? So, you kind of start asking yourself questions. And when you do draw, even with the little thumbnail, okay, so what you want to do is not let the words speak. Okay. Your illustration alone has to do with all the explanation. So when I look at it, immediately I should kind of, be intrigued by and come to know more. And then that's when like the second read would come about the secret.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah. So, ma'am, can we use the text or not? Like, not this behind the door, or I'll write something else, but we can use, right?
No, so the point of illustration is that it's a visual medium. Okay, so you do not want to put in any words or words that explain as such. If you're using words as like a word form or like as a shape, that's fine, but there should be no text in it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Should I stop sharing?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sakina, do you want to try sharing?
Now, hello.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can hear me. I'm sharing the screen.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so I came up with six iterations right now. So first was something about bisexuality that I thought key people right now also doesn't want to tell everybody about this and just keep it a secret within themselves. So that's why like this person with the color on his blazer is the one, but I'll not show him like directly, and but a little glimpse that he is just keeping a secret within him, something like that. The second one, it was not so like, it was just an idea of like Chinese whisper. So if I tell someone a secret, they just tell somebody else, and the chain continues, and like everybody, like you told us the example of the opposite. So the opposite of a secret is gossip. So the secret becomes a gossip, just like this only. In the third one,
Okay,
like
Sakina, can you pick
yeah.
the one that you actually want to, work on? Because then, if we don't have time to discuss all thumbnails for everyone now. So just pick the ones that you think work best or that you want to kind of take forward. Okay? And
Okay.
explain that.
Maybe from first one or the last one.
Okay, what's going on in the last one?
So it's actually a bridge in Paris. It's a bridge in which everybody keeps a lock for their loved ones, I guess. So I thought of taking that as an inspiration, and like obviously, why would we keep a lock just because first we want to share something, or we keep it we just don't want to tell something, but that wish should be fulfilled, something like that. So there's a lock there in which the key is already attached. So just to keep a secrecy in, or the thought why she has kept the key with it, just to bind some interest in the illustration, I kept that. And yeah.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, so what's happening with the Pontiac Bridge? That's an image that is very well known. Okay, everybody knows about the Lovelock Bridge. Okay, almost everybody. So, that kind of negates the idea of like a concept being there because it's already so well known. Also, what it stands for is very different to what you're trying to show. Okay, the backstory of it is kind of like a love story, and they basically started doing that so as to counteract a curse that like some legendary lovers put on the whole idea. So so when you try and draw something, okay, you want to research into the backstory. Like, why is it there and what is it about it that you can use. Okay. That said, the little addition of the key does add a sense of mystery. Okay. So if you do choose to pursue that, you need to make more of like give more information or add like more of a secret angle to it. Okay. So you might want to kind of like even if and again the one of the other things is even when you guys are doing thumbnails, okay, composition should always be kind of like lingering in what you draw, okay, your sense of composition. So see, even when you draw the thumbnail, all the logs are the same size, one is just slightly bigger. I didn't even get realize, that there was a key there. So you want to make sure that, I'm not saying that make it like a direct focal point, but you want to make sure that people don't miss it, right? And that is like the only thing that you're trying to do there. So think about that. I think you can work further with this idea and put in more meaning to it. Okay. When you guys think of conceptual things, okay, especially okay with secret, think of it as what is it now and what you're drawing. What is the secret that you're trying to tell? With okay, with the bisexuality one, you are focusing on that, okay, that they are hiding their sexuality and one of you come out. Okay? With the logs, you're just being vague about, some things are kept secret, blah blah blah. Okay, so with all of you are
Actually, ma'am, I'm not able to understand. I think your voice is little cracked.
sorry. Yeah, is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying, like the bisexuality one, you have focused on the topic and determined what is it that is being kept secret. With the locks, not so much, like it's still vague, like we actually don't know what you're talking about. Okay? So so you need to kind of focus a little bit more on that and work towards that. Uh, and even with, okay, let's talk about the first, okay, like drawing that person in the crowd of people. There are more ways than that to show, more ways than looking to show bisexuality. Okay. Uh, what you've done is probably the easiest way, but then it doesn't always translate into bisexuality. It can be someone who just likes cross-dressing. Doesn't necessarily mean. So you might want to look a little bit more into that. Okay? And,
Yeah, ma'am, actually, okay, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. What are you saying?
Yeah, I was thinking of like dressing him something like that only, but that would take the like it would be very direct. So that's why I thought to add a little detail. And but yeah, you're right because that is the most easiest way one can just draw. So I'll think of various other ways to show
So,
that.
one thing you want to be careful about when addressing such topics is to not basically, use stereotypes to kind of bring that up. Okay. So here from what you've drawn, I can see all of these people in suits. Okay. So we can generally associate that with very masculine, or, like a form of a man, right, like a heterosexual man. But we want to kind of be more sensitive when addressing such topics, not to actually reinforce stereotypes. So that is where conceptual illustration has strength in that you can actually use something else, like literally other things, to show what you're trying to show. Okay. I you have okay, give me minute. I can try and screen share. Hold on. Can you stop screen sharing? Okay. Okay, do you see that? Okay, so that's one of my work in progress illustrations. That's the, well, it's the same bridge you're talking about, okay? The Lovelock Bridge. And what I'm basically trying to do is, I've drawn the whole bridge in perspective. All the locks are there, as you see in photos, blah, blah, blah. What I'm also trying to do is basically kind of through what I'm drawing, uh, tell another story. Okay, so you have these two kissing here, they're holding hands. So you kind of see that they're probably standing there holding hands, and their shadow forms that. And then when if you squint, it's not that obvious because I haven't finished it yet. But when you squint, the shape of the bridge, the composition, the way the arms are, all of that kind of contributes to making the shape of the Eiffel Tower. Okay? So even someone who doesn't know can kind of get that. So what you want to do is, think in that direction. What are the devices that you can use to tell another or to convey another idea beyond one that you're showing literally? Okay.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, basically, I should work more, or like, I should explore more on the lock thing, the bridge one.
No,
Right?
see, that is your decision. Okay. Um,
Yes.
so all of you at this point, if you have, 5 or 6 ideas, okay, just pick one that you want to work with. Okay. I'm sure all of you have a bias or favorite. Don't pick the easiest one as such. Okay? So I can help you kind of, nudge you along and give you hints. I'm not going to spoon feed you. But at this point, just pick one and explore that in terms of the concept, idea, even elements of drawing, and that will lead you somewhere. Please do look at the work of the illustrators, that are posted in the group. Okay, that will make it more clear of what we are trying to do. Okay. Does anyone have any questions before we break up for today? Anyone? Go ahead. Yeah, so for the value, okay, so this is how it follows. Once you do the, let's say, once you do your thumbnail and once you kind of figure out your line drawing, okay, so if you have devices like a printer or a scanner or, your phone, uh, what I usually do is take, kind of scan in my line drawing, okay, and print it out real small. So, the sheet I gave you, so maybe let's say if I'm doing final 8 by 10, my value comp would be 4 by 5. Okay, I print it out, so it's like a coloring page, and then I just take a pencil and kind of put in my values, you know. So it can be very rough, it doesn't have to be neat, okay? You just want to determine what's going to be dark, what's going to be light, okay? Where you want your focus to be so the value can help you with that. So even if your final thing is pastels or it's watercolor, whatever, you can just use a pencil, okay, to do your value count. That said, because we only have 4 days and this assignment is due day after tomorrow morning, I'm giving you guys freedom to just use Photoshop to take a picture of your line drawing that you've done or your thumbnail, whatever you want to use. Make sure that it's the same drawing and same proportions. Otherwise, that's going to change a lot of things when you do the final one. So put that into Photoshop, and you can just use different shades of gray to color that in. Okay. Same thing for the color comp. You can use your computer to plug in colors and create color schemes. But okay, I do not want you creating colors that you cannot replicate in your final work. Okay, so be very careful of that. I can do a little demo of how to quickly, work with value and color. Obviously, if you don't even want to use like Photoshop, the other way I do it is take a piece of tracing paper, put it over my final thumbnail or like the final line drawing, okay, that I have. So let's say my final line drawing, I already resolved it at 8 by 10. Okay, I just draw 5 by 5 on another sheet of paper and kind of roughly draw whatever is my final, put a sheet of tracing paper over it, take my pencil and do, the value study, put another piece of tracing paper over it, take color pencils, or, whatever other colors I have, a dry medium most preferably. So, and then go over it with colors. So what that does is the light and dark shows underneath, okay? So that automatically gives you an added, inference for the value. That you already know if you put in red over a really dark valued surface, okay, or a dark background, it's going to become dark red. Okay, is that clear? Okay. Anyone else? Any questions? Seriously, no one? I think all of you know everything. Okay, let's just all turn our video on for a minute. Is everyone here who left? Five of you are missing. Okay, what do we all feel about the assignment? Do you think it's difficult? Or do you think it's going to be okay, seeing that you've already done, what, 2 assignments with Prasanjit sir? Yes? Okay. You guys can text me on WhatsApp if you need feedback, but please know that I may not be able to get back to you, okay? After class hours, so please make it a point that even if you have, stupid questions, ask them in class, it's fine. None of your classmates know anyway, They know as little or as much as you do, okay? And learn from each other, okay? If you want feedback, you can also discuss with one another, so I hope you're already doing that, okay? You just get on the Zoom calls, FaceTime, whatever, and just do that. Okay? Uh, yeah, okay, that's it for tomorrow. Make sure you make good progress, okay? The sooner you get things done, the more feedback you get. If needed, okay, and please attempt, I don't know if you've done that, for the previous class, but please do attempt value counts. That's where the previous batch had the most issues. Okay? So try, at least give it a try with whatever, thumbnail stage or line drawing stage you today. So in case you don't, feel that you don't have a handle on it, I can demo that tomorrow as well. Okay? Okay. Goodbye for the present, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye, mom.
Bye.
Bye, mom.